Welcome to Red Eye. I'm Tom Shillue, filling in for Greg Gutfeld, and now let's welcome our guests. If she was an angle, she'd be acute. I'm here tonight with campus reform reporter Katherine Timpf. She's hotter than heat stroke and twice as deadly. It's Joanne Nosuchinsky. And it's a man who needs no introduction. I think that's code for he didn't feel like writing one. It's TV's Andy Levy. And he's stunning, like a taser set to 11. It's Rick Grenell, spokesman to 4 U.S. ambassadors to the UN. The world reacted with horror to the downing of the Malaysian Airlines plane. The guy from American Pie reacted with a joke. Jason Biggs tweeted on Thursday, "Anyone want to buy my Malaysian Airlines frequent flyer miles?" He got a lot of blowback from followers, but wisely chose not to get defensive. Biggs responded, "Hey, all you too soon it's a joke. You don't have to think it's funny or even be on my Twitter page at all. And truly, you losers are literally trying to find to get angry about. Channel your issues elsewhere." Oh, I guess I was mistaken about that.
A little bit.
Yeah. Later that day, the actor deleted the tweets and apologized, writing, "People were offended, and that was not my intent. Sorry to those of you that were." Meanwhile, in other strange reactions to the crash that killed 298 people, Samantha Power, U.S. ambassador to the UN, tweeted on Friday, "Scale of MH17 disaster is horrific for people of the Netherlands. Number of victims relative to total population is same as 9/11 for U.S." Wow. Rick, let's I want to talk about that Samantha Power tweet, but let's start with the Jason Biggs tweet. I mean, was it that bad, really?
No, I thought it was fine.
Really?
I don't get this. Yeah, he's a comedian. He's supposed to be funny. It actually was pretty funny.
You thought it was funny?
First of all, who has Malaysian airline frequent flyer miles? That's funny.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I guess the people who fly
People in
Malaysia Air.
Malaysia probably do.
Yeah.
So no, do you think? I mean, it was so people are killed, all right. And my opposition to it. First of all, you called him a comedian. Do you think he was a comedian? Being a stand-up comedian, yeah. I like to refer to only comedians as comedians, but he is a comic actor, is he not?
He's an actor who generally tweets jokey stuff.
He's dumb. Everything he's done is dumb. His tweet was dumb.
Wow.
But Rick thinks it was an okay joke. I have a problem with the humor of the joke. To me, very on a humor scale, it was offensive because it was the most generic kind of joke you make. Right. Anyone wanna buy, in the way he wrote, anyone wanna buy my Malaysian Airlines? I mean, you could think of something more clever than that.
Okay,
right?
so it would have been great then if people just said you're not that funny. But the entire Twitter sphere came at him like it was completely inappropriate. I mean, come on, people need to lighten up. And yes, this is a tragedy, but I don't think he was being disrespectful.
Katherine, you think he was. You never liked the guy.
I think the tweet was dumb, and I'm upset because it's dumb. And he got to tweet something this dumb and get this much attention. I have some pretty good tweets. We're not talking about my tweets right now. We're talking about his dumb Malaysian plane.
Well, do you ever tweet dumb things on purpose because you're going to get a rise out of people?
I'm going to try. That's what I'm going to do now. Watch my Twitter. Real dumb stuff coming, guys.
Maybe you didn't get it. Huh? Maybe there was a bit of humor here. Maybe he was going over all our heads. It was kind of serious, but then it was humor, and then it was wrapped again in serious, and then it was
I think he's too dumb for that.
Yeah, Andy, what do you think? I mean,
I'm with Rick here. Mainly because I can't figure out for the life of me why this became such a big story. I don't know what was offensive about what he actually said. He didn't tweet a joke about people dying horribly. So I guess what was supposed to be offensive is the fact that he made a joke at all. And all right, if you think it was too soon, that's fine. I just don't get it rising to the level of outrage that it did. And I wish he hadn't apologized.
People are hot on his Twitter feed, though. Is it because, I mean, is he a real movie star? Is he up there in the world of, like, Clooney and stuff like that?
No, but he has fans, and whatever. He tweeted a joke. If you don't think it's funny, you don't think it's funny.
But it's not offensive.
Well, that's the thing. Everything now, there can't just be, no one can just react and say, I wouldn't have done that. It's either nothing or straight to 11.
Well, at least the producers of this TV show that he's on, Orange is the New Black, they didn't come out and make a statement. Everyone always has to make a statement, right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah, he's going to have to open a foundation for the victims' families for people to stop talking.
Well, I think it's just hard, though, because whenever things like this happen, we're always like, we feel kind of helpless. Like, what can I actually do? Or like, man. No, really.
You really feel like you want to get involved and do something?
No, it's just people are like, oh, okay, let me take to Twitter. It's like you kind of want to reach out to people and kind of feel like you're a part of a community. You know what I mean? Because you feel so helpless after it.
So when an event happens, you want to come in and
Yeah. So I think he might have just been trying to do that, or trying to, I don't know, maybe put people's spirits in a better place, kind of, by making them laugh.
Joanne,
but I think that just kind of ruined it all.
But the thing is, I don't think that was the case at all for him, because he immediately went into attack mode. When people criticized him, he went crazy.
Well, and then people criticize because they're like, I'm so angry. Let me put my anger on you because I don't know who else to be angry at.
Let me be the contrarian.
So that's what that happens.
Because I don't really think he did attack people. If you look at the subsequent tweets, he was like, come on, lighten up. Can't you know, I guess your humor, was gone. Or,
well, you know what he should have said? Because it was a bad joke.
I'm shocked he was reading the news.
It was a bad joke. He should have said, bad joke, everybody, bad joke. Then I would have let him off, you know what I mean? But he was defending it as if it was some kind of sophisticated humor. It stunk.
It should be. We should make it clear. He attacked, if you want to say he attacked, he was attacked. Yeah. And then he was basically defending himself and lashing out at people. His tweets didn't just come out of a vacuum.
Right.
People were tweeting that.
Obviously, I think, as I always say, people should be able to tweet whatever they want, and then if they've offended someone, they can just say, "Oh, sorry about that," making a joke. Everybody.
But everybody in this world gets offended way too easily.
Ludicrous.
Oh, I
am offended when it's someone like Samantha Power, because she is always making ridiculous tweets. Rick, let's talk about that. Can we put the tweet back up there? I want to show what she said. The scale of MH17 disaster is horrific for people of Netherlands. Number of victims relative to total population is same as 9/11 for US. No, how did she even think of that, first of all? Someone must have, been running numbers or something. How, Rick, is that relevant at all? The population versus the number of people killed?
Or why is she the U.S. ambassador to the UN if she can't do math?
Oh my.
I mean, seriously, it was a bad analogy. This is someone who should have been attacked for a tweet. Bad analogy. It is not the same. I mean, it's obviously a mistake in the Ukraine. I don't think there's a single person who thinks even the Russian separatists were trying to down a plane full of civilians. They clearly thought it was a military plane from Ukraine.
Even on that level. On that level. It's on so many levels, there is no comparison. So why was she eager? That's the question. I mean, she's not just like some gal out there in a bar like, hey, guess what? You know what I mean? She's like the ambassador to the United Nations.
Her whole image is about human suffering, and she's trying to, she is famous because of genocide.
She wanted to show off math. She wanted to show off, look, I don't just have feelings, I can do math also. She tried.
But she makes some pretty goofy tweets, right? Do you remember after Daniel Pearl, she had a tweet about, Daniel Pearl's death was about reconciliation.
Right.
No, it wasn't.
Well, she feels like people don't take her seriously, so she was going to try really hard and say, look at my math. I'm also really smart at numbers.
I mean, but even when you come to the numbers, it doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah, bad job.
But she got that, I'm assuming she got that from Vox.com, which did a little article saying that same exact thing. And the most offensive thing about this is that she got any information from Vox.com, because it's supposed to be this explanatory journalism website that just makes mistake after mistake after mistake, and is the last place that anybody in a position of power should be quoting. Other than that, I honestly, again, I don't see what the huge deal is about this. It's a dumb tweet.
Well, if you look at her Twitter, she has kind of a history of. They're not super offensive, but she has, for someone in politics, she has often very strange tweets, which is when she made that Daniel Pearl tweet. It was just kind of inappropriate and bizarre.
She has very inappropriate and bizarre beliefs.
Yeah,
so that's not really
she went to Yale, Andy. She went to Harvard. She's got a Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah. But should the U.S. ambassador to the UN be pointing out a fact in her mind that somehow takes away from 9/11 or equates it with another country?
Well, and that's the thing. You can't compare significance of tragedies.
Yeah.
You can't say that one tragedy bears more weight than another one, because their significance varies for those who have been affected.
So what do you think is her motivation for someone who is the ambassador to the United Nations? What is she getting at? Why does she want us to make a comparison to 9/11?
I have an answer for that.
Rick, what is it?
It is the typical Obama administration that if you make 192 countries equal and the United States doesn't stick out, somehow you please the rest of the world.
Exactly. That is it. That is it. And that's why these kind of tweets bother me, because Yes, Andy.
I was going to say, I thought she was doing it to give the Netherlands justification for attacking Iraq.
Well, I mean,
She's not she's the U.S. ambassador to the UN.
Yes,
U.S.
I know.
ambassador.
No, I know. I know.
okay, let's. A prank caller got onto MSNBC during their coverage Thursday. Can we see the tape?
U.S. Staff Sergeant Michael Boyd is at the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine and says that he saw a missile in the air hit the plane. He is on the phone with us. Sergeant, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can. Please tell us what you saw there on the ground in Ukraine.
Well, I was looking out the window and I saw a projectile flying through the sky, and it would appear that the plane was shot down by a blast of wind from Howard Stern's ass.
So it would appear that the plane was shot down. Can you tell us anything more from your military training of what sort of missile system that may have been coming from?
Well, you're a dumbass, aren't you?
I'm sorry, sir. All right, we're going to take a quick break.
That wasn't funny. Andy, what's wrong with these people?
I don't know. I hate this stuff. I don't think it's funny because it happened at MSNBC. It could easily happen here tomorrow or next week or whatever.
She was trying to be nice too. She said
well,
she repeated his quote, but without the stupid reference. She said, "Understandably, the plane went down." And do you want to further
It sucks
elaborate?
that she didn't pick up that he said that. But A, we don't know if a producer was talking in her ear. That kind of stuff happens. She might not have heard it. She might have heard it and just thought, you don't
She was
process it,
screaming.
and you're like, "There's no way he just said what I thought he said. He probably said something else, and it sounded like Howard Stern's ass." You feel probably what happened.
Joanne Nosuchinsky, you feel bad for this. What's the woman's name? The MSNBC.
Crystal Ball.
Crystal Ball. You feel bad.
I feel a little bad. I would hate to be her. Like, as a viewer, at first you're like, oh, this is kind of funny, and then you're like, but it's really kind of not. I like a good harmless
Why do we all
prank,
watch
but,
it though?
like,
I mean, I watched this.
man.
I watched it online, and now we have it on the show. We're putting the story out there because it is kind of funny. We all did prank calls, didn't you? Did you, Rick?
Totally.
Yes. We used to call the GE helpline, because they had the number in the inside of all the GE appliances. So my roommates and I would call with all these crazy problems. Would say, my shoes are in the washing machine, and they would talk us through it. It was so fun.
I think Jason Biggs did it. I think he was the caller.
You hate Jason Biggs.
I do.
Why?
'Cause
Ever
he's
since he
dumb.
had sex with that pie.
Yeah, that's why.
You
It was
don't care
upsetting.
for him.
It's upsetting. He's just dumb. Everything he's done has been dumb.
I've never seen him in anything. I guess. Well, maybe I'm proud to say.
You've never seen American Pie?
I don't want to watch that.
Really?
People having sex with
Not
pies.
even
It's
American
terrible.
Pie 2?
Funny movie.
Or Reunion?
I've never. Okay. They're keeping tabs on your abs. Yes, the NSA is checking out all things NSFW, according to the traitorous swine, Edward Snowden. Younger workers at the agency routinely pass around sexy pics that they stumble across as part of the agency's vast online data collection. The bespectacled betrayer made the outlandish claim during a 7-hour video interview with the British paper The Guardian.
Now, in the course of their daily work, they stumble across something that is completely unrelated to their work in any sort of necessary sense. For example, an intimate nude photo of someone in a sexually compromising situation, but they're extremely attractive. So what do? They turn around in their chair and they show their coworker. And their coworker says, oh, hey, that's great. Send that to Bill down the way. And then Bill sends it to George sends it to Tom. And sooner or later, this person's whole life has been seen by all of these other people.
Well, now I have my answer to why it's a 7-hour interview. The guy takes forever to say. I mean, he should have answered that in one sentence. They were passing around dirty pictures at
There's
the
a lot of
NSA.
guys.
Sexually compromising
He won't
position.
shut up, this guy. Rick, is this, do you believe it? Do you believe him?
First of all, he's a sexist because every example he gave was a guy getting the picture to another guy.
It was everybody. It was
I mean,
George
come
and then
on.
Harry down the hall.
Yes. I mean, look.
Is he lying, though? That's the question.
I think this guy has been making stuff up for a long time. Maybe it happened once, but then he makes it seem like it happens all the time.
Yeah, it said they pushed him on it. I mean, I didn't see the whole interview because I don't have 7 hours to spare. But they said when he pushed him on it, he got even more general about it. He didn't go into specifics.
Well, because he can't prove it. I mean, here's a guy who downloaded all this information and supposedly has facts and cables, but yet someone should push him in to say, okay, let's see, these pictures. is it really true? Who's George? Who's Harry? Who are these people?
I mean, we need some
Because
facts.
Let's get George and Harry.
I think if somebody's doing it, obviously it's wrong and they need to be prosecuted. But you can't just say that it's generally happening all the time and then not give us facts.
Well,
I think
Joanne,
you
you
That's what America's all about.
Joanne, if you take a selfie, I'm assuming you take about 28 of them, and then you pick the best one. Does it bother you that the NSA is looking at the other 27?
You're welcome, boys. And girls. And girls. Again, this is why I say Edward Snowden is a selfish, selfish man, because those photos were the highlights of those nerds' days.
Yeah, it was.
And now that'll be taken away from them.
Isn't that what we all assume, that these guys are these tech nerds? I
Yeah.
mean, do you watch The Good Wife?
They go
right?
through all
It was
this
all these
horrible
tech nerds.
stuff.
They're all passing around. What do you expect them to do? It's not their fault that they're coming across this information. I'm a man. If I come across some interesting pictures, I'm going to show them. Andy, you're kind of nodding your head.
God.
I know
I'm
you're
shaking
jealous.
my head. I'm not nodding my head.
Well, you're nodding it from east to west. It's a different kind of nod. Andy, I think you're jealous because
Really?
you want him to be looking at pictures of you because you love him so much.
First of all, I don't like how thin he looks.
Exactly.
Edward, please eat something, please.
It's the Russian food. It's terrible.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I completely believe that this is happening. People are fallible. Isn't that one of the central tenets of conservative thought? One of the key arguments for limited government, that people are fallible, so you don't want to give a lot of power to the government?
That's true, yes.
Right. But you people, you conveniently forget about this when it comes to the security state. When it comes to the security state, you want it to be as big as possible. Because I think at heart, what you really are is you're a big government conservative.
I'm not, and I don't-
As long as it's big government that supports things you like invading the privacy of the American people, I think you, sir, are the traitor.
If-
You should be in Guantanamo Bay, in prison, and
This is the
probably never see the light of day again.
How can I be a traitor?
We'll be right back.
This is the problem of
Is this-
libertarians, though, because you just completely twisted conservative.
No.
Is
Yes,
this just,
you're all
is this
completely
just
confused,
sexy
Katherine.
pictures? This
Catherine,
is what I'm
I knew you were
about.
going to get at this.
Is
I bet, if you can go ahead and take sexy pictures of yourself and
I'm more concerned about my not so sexy pictures that I've sent people. One time I spilled quinoa soup all over me and it looked like this barnacle for a long time. Sent a lot of pictures
Was it-
of that.
why? Is quinoa
I don't
soup
want-
hot?
I really kind of overestimated the microwaving time by about 15 minutes.
you
probably.
burned yourself with quinoa soup.
Quinoa soup is the whitest thing ever. When my microwave, 2 shirts on, I still have a scar. Also, every time I'm sick, I send pictures of my tonsils to my mom to see if I need to go to the doctor. Right?
That's so sexy.
Yeah. So what if they get a hold of those? That would be
that's
way
somebody's
worse. That's
fetish.
embarrassing.
That is somebody's
Yeah.
Exactly.
Are my
There are- I bet
tonsils
there are a lot
floating
of
around the
young guys.
NSA right now?
In
I
or
feel
out of
so
the NSA?
violated.
I mean, I actually wouldn't mind seeing a woman burned by soup.
It was a really big barnacle. A barnacle.
Well, now we know why the IRS is targeting conservatives.
Yeah.
All right, coming up, my show-stopping song and dance number. And you thought I was just a pretty face. No, I'm a triple threat. But first, a company that doesn't want its employees taking bathroom breaks? Find out after our first of 4 mandated breaks. Will they sue to use the loo? 19 union workers at a faucet-making company have filed a grievance with the National Labor Relations Board claiming their employer limited them to just 6 minutes per day in the bathroom. They say that the company, Water Saver Faucet, even installed a tracking system to keep tabs on their tinkle time. Last month, 19 workers were disciplined for excessive bathroom use, specifically 60 minutes during a 10-day period. But does everybody have to use the bathroom? This employee says yes.
Everybody has to use a bathroom.
He said it as such. The company, which claims to have lost 120 hours of work a month, has even incentivized holding it in, offering employees a $20 gift card for not peeing on the job. Here's the CEO.
It's not fair to the people who come and work hard 7.5 hours a day to have the guy next to them, screwing off in the bathroom all day long.
The company installed cameras in the bathrooms. What they found was disturbing. Take a look. Andy, have you ever heard of an employee screwing off in the bathroom for 7 hours a day? Is this CEO crazy?
Screwing off? No.
It's what he said. He said screwing off?
No. First of all, we should point out the company didn't really install cameras in the bathroom. That was part of our joke.
Right, yes. Those animals, they were not...
Make that clear.
Those were not union animals.
Yeah. Look, this company, a couple things. This company doesn't have paid sick days. Guess what that means? That means people might be coming to work with the flu or a stomach virus, and you probably need a bathroom more than 6 minutes a day. This, to me, this is like those dumb zero-tolerance policies at schools where you end up suspending kids for making Pop-Tarts look like guns. If you have an employee that's routinely spending too much time in the bathroom, deal with that. Don't do this blanket across-the-board thing. It's stupid. Also, this company makes faucets. This company needs people in the bathroom a lot.
I know. That's
How do they not realize
it's a mystery
that's
why
their job.
It seems strange that it's this company. Catherine, this is 1% of the day of these employees. Does that seem excessive to you?
I think that this policy is an excellent policy. I fully support it. These people are so upset about not being able to kick it in the bathroom all day that they are protesting. And this would be good for them because there's more to life than just the bathroom, right? Life's too short to waste it in the bathroom. You love the bathroom, let it go. You know, one bathroom door closes, another opens.
What is it about this bathroom? Why are they going down there? Why? Obviously, there's something going on at Water Saver, and these guys and gals, they want to go down and spend time. Maybe
they want to take a dip.
Is it the only, Joanne? Is it the only place? You know, women spend more time in the bathroom than men, right? Because they.
Oh, we gossip.
Yes, don't you get together in there and you know we don't chat and gossip. We don't even talk. We don't even look at each other, do we?
We
in the bathroom?
also have a time of the month.
I actually also hate when I say that I have to go to the bathroom and whatever girl's with me like takes it as an invitation. Like, oh yeah, me too, let's go. I don't really like that much.
No.
I might enjoy this policy. Another reason, best policy ever. Great job, guys.
Wait a minute, you're telling me
all be made up?
Well, obviously it's not made up. They're having a problem at the
company. Water Saver, though. I mean, it's like a big commercial for Water Saver.
You think these guys are doing it for publicity? They're having a labor issue over this?
All I can say is it gives moisturizing pants a whole new meaning.
I think they just realized
know what
that
that
these people's
means.
obsession with the bathrooms is keeping them from achieving their dreams, and they're trying to...
I used to work, I mean, I had a real job in days gone by. I used to work at a men's clothing store, and the sales people would come off the floor, and they would go down to the bathroom. They just wanted to get off the floor. So they'd go in there, and they'd waste time. Back then, they would
sometimes you need
smoke
a break
cigarettes.
so that you can come back, you're energized, you're ready to go. But listen, and as soon as you tell me I can't use the bathroom, that's when I actually have to go.
I like the incentive, though. But wait a minute. Wouldn't you gals love a $20 gift certificate for not going to the bathroom?
I don't want a kidney infection in the process.
All right.
This segment brought to you by Water Saver.
Okay, coming up, will people like you more if you're a binge drinker, perhaps, but your liver will hate you. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Tonight's C Block is sponsored by the Gully Ball. It's real. Don't believe me? You should, because it totally is. Buy it now for 4 easy payments of your child's college fund. Thanks, Gully Ball.
Can you get to the top at the bottom of a bottle? According to a new study, my favorite kind, the more young adults binge drink, the higher their social status. Yes, frequent heavy boozers tend to be more popular than others in their group of friends, as they should be. But it's unclear which comes first, the binging or the popularity. Yes, it's a classic drunk chicken or drunk egg question. The researchers suggest that young people might be gaining social status benefits via their heavy drinking, or that higher social status might encourage riskier drinking practices among young people. Catherine, what do you think? Which one is it? I suspect that it is difficult to be of high social status because you're worrying all the time, and you take all that stress into the bar with you and you overdrink. What do you think? I
actually think I am way cooler the more I drink, because after I've had a couple vodsodes, I just lie and I make myself sound really cool to everyone I meet. Everyone just says normal stuff, and I'm like, I was kidnapped when I was a kid, and I overcame all this adversity. I invented the e-cigarette, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I can say it so convincingly I'm just, popular.
Wait a minute. Do you think these guys in bars are chatting with you because of the lies you're telling, or maybe they just like the fact that you're paying attention to them?
I think, I'm not paying attention to them. I'm talking about myself the entire time. So.
But they have you. They have your attention. They're standing there with you. I don't think it doesn't matter what you say to them. They're going to want to be around you.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what I say, and I will say anything, and it's way more fun that way. It's
Andy,
way more fun.
You mentor a lot of young co-eds.
I do.
In your time.
Yes.
And
yes.
You encourage them to binge drink. What do you agree with the study?
I don't like to say encourage, Tom. I don't berate them for doing it. I don't believe in judging them.
You say it helps loosen them up.
And no judges.
It's if they think it does, then it does. That's how it works. There's a couple of things here. Like they say, students who are considered more socially powerful drink more. Binge drinking is associated with high status and the cool students on campus. Well, maybe, like they keep saying, the college students who binge drinks were happier than their counterparts because it's cool. I think maybe they were happier because they were drunk more often.
And maybe they're just saying.
Do that. Yeah.
Maybe they're lying to these researchers. Maybe they're just like, yeah, I'm happy, but they're not happy.
The other thing is, this is a study of young adults. I would like to see a similar study with people in their 40s, because I suspect that by then, the people who drink more and who binge drink are just considered kind of sad.
Yeah.
Joanne, this story seems almost tailor-made for me to have some kind of snarky question about you over drinking, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to ask you whether you think this study is dead on or not.
Oh, boy. Yeah, definitely for young people. I think that young people associate binge drinking with having a good time, with making new friends, new experiences. YOLO. You only live once. That's what that means. That's what I did there.
I didn't even know what a VOD was.
But yeah, like you said, the older you get, when you do.
Nobody actually says that.
I do.
No one does.
Nobody
but when you meet a man or a woman then who continues that binge drinking when they get to be an adult, that's the immediate red flag. And then you're like, oh, you're still doing that?
Exactly.
Oh, so what's the cutoff? Where's the cutoff?
I want to say like 25.
Okay, so really you only have.
I think that's a good age.
You only have 4 years of binge drinking available
if
to
you start at 21,
because nobody under 21 drinks.
Yeah.
Like you said, because I think a lot of the popular kids and the jocks, they were always out drinking at the parties and whatnot. And some of the nerds, we didn't drink at all because we had other stuff to do, right, Rick? We had better things to do.
Was I a nerd?
Are you
I think, were you a nerd? Oh, I don't know.
First of all, the nerds rule the world.
They do
I'm
now.
Not ruling the
they
world.
Didn't back when we were, riding high.
I was a popular kid. Okay, let me just read something from the study, just so you all know.
Yeah.
Dr. Tara Dumas, the lead author behind the study, recruited 357 young adults between May and July 2012 en route to bars in downtown Ontario with their friends. She gave them free drinks to do the study.
Wait, in Ontario, is that Canada?
And it's a Canadian study.
They can drink when they're
Everyone's
18.
drunk in Canada all the time.
Well,
6 years. They've been drinking for 6 years.
Yeah.
now.
6 years.
It's a flawed study.
Flawed.
Well, I don't think, like you said, the nerds rule the world now, so everything's different. But I think back in our day, we were the guy. I don't know why I'm putting you in with me. I assume we
I'm
were
much
both
younger.
Huh? What are you, 1970? I'm 66.
Rick, you're what, 28, 29?
I'm like, first of all, I lie so much about my age, I don't know what it is. But I'm younger. Let's just say that I'm younger.
Lying.
Right?
Okay.
Yes.
All
She's
right.
seen my ID.
We shouldn't get into age. Okay, next topic. A drunk man was arrested at the San Francisco airport this week after he impersonated a TSA agent and brought 2 women into a private area to give them pat-downs. The 53-year-old, who was reportedly dressed in khaki pants, blue shirt, and blue gloves, wow, that's my favorite uniform, eventually caught the attention of real screeners because men are not allowed to take women into the pat-down area without a female present. He should have known that. He was booked only on public drunkenness because the women had already left the scene. Yes, it's another victory for perverts. How did the women leave the scene? It's an airport.
They got on their planes.
Planes.
They were late.
They were late.
Oh, Andy, so they got on the plane and they didn't make a complaint.
They didn't know.
Well, maybe he has a gentle touch in those
I think they
gloves.
probably thought he was Dan Aykroyd, judging from his picture.
Except he did.
Yeah.
Well.
But the TSA, he
out.
already did this to one woman before the TSA, who are responsible for protecting our entire country. We're like, wait a minute. He's not supposed to be in there by himself groping these. I feel so safe now.
Yeah, he actually did a. Where is this phantom area? I've never been
I don't know,
taken
but
to it. I don't know why
he got in. Apparently, it's easy to get in and grope girls there.
I'm always
Get at least
welcome.
one.
I go in there when I go through the line. I put my hands up in the air as if I'm welcome to pat down. They never pat me down. They just always look at me. Oh, go right on by.
They always dust my hands for explosives.
Now, I mean, have you, Catherine? Have you ever been, gone through the manual, the pat down? Have they taken you to this phantom area that they're talking
No, they have not. They have not taken me to this
bitter
phantom
about
area.
it?
Yeah, am I not pretty enough to be taken into the phantom area? And
Look, the big story here is that the women didn't find it suspicious that a drunk TSA agent is groping them.
Well,
right.
I mean, doesn't that give you a little
Business
sign
as
of
usual.
well, that's why this guy is a crafty pervert.
No.
He should have known about the rules.
You know whose fault this is? This is your fault, Tom. This is your fault, and Greg Gutfeld, or whatever his name is, and all your fellow so-called conservatives who worship at the altar of the security state. You like that the citizens are conditioned to follow authority. Oh, this guy wants to pat me down in private. Well, as long as it keeps me safe, I guess it's okay. You make me sick, I hope you rot in prison and then in hell.
I was waiting. I didn't want to interrupt your last one.
Thank you.
I came in in the middle of your monologue last time, and I should have known where the end was. Andy, you're wrong. I'm not so hopped up on the NSA. It's just that I welcome. You don't have to welcome the pat downs, but I do. Okay.
Whatever your thing is.
They can go through my bags and whatnot.
They would
Joanne,
always pat my head. Because of clip-in extensions. When I was going to Miss USA, when I was going to Vegas, that was the worst. I'm wearing my sash. People are looking at me and they're like, "Why are they touching her head?"
Now wait a minute. You were going through. You used to go on an airport with the sash on it. That's the way
just the one time I had to.
You wear tiaras and whatnot when you? No. You go through that.
Do you want me to say yes? Do you want me
I think that would be great.
Because that would be stupid, Tom.
They beep when you go through.
What are you trying to say?
But wait a minute. This guy got arrested for doing something that the TSA does all the time, right, Andy? I mean,
what if he found something? What if when he was patting down one of these women,
he would have let it go?
Found a weapon?
That'd be crazy.
That's a moral dilemma.
We would be praising
My
him.
guess is he probably would have cut a deal with that woman, if you know what I mean.
Actually, they don't have fun houses anymore, but do you remember the old fun houses where you would go into a dark room and, at the amusement park.
At like a carnival.
Okay.
You'd go into the amusement
So inappropriate.
They were never fun.
Yeah, this doesn't sound fun. I don't know what.
You guys, you may not be as old as me, but they in the 70s, they had, every carnival had a fun house. You remember them, Andy.
I do.
And you would go in there, boys and girls, and, there would be not so wholesome things going on.
Yes.
What?
But nobody knows what
the fun house.
You were
at
lied to. That was not a fun house.
Yeah.
Listen, I didn't do it. I know we played this game of
it was Uncle
Tom
Nate's Funhouse.
It was in his back
Every
shed.
Christmas and Thanksgiving, we would go out back, and Uncle Nate would take us into the
Wait, Andy, the memories are coming back to me. All right, time to take a break. My instant opinion on instant coffee, the instant we come back. You thought the United States was the land of instant gratification and convenience, all about quantity over quality. Well, you were wrong. It's time for another. Coffee achievers like myself may be surprised to learn that instant coffee is not only the most popular, but the fastest growing form of coffee in the world. According to a new story in the Washington Post, instant coffee, that's powdered coffee that dissolves in hot water, is bigger than ever. In Australia and New Zealand, it accounts for over 75% of retail coffee consumed. In Eastern Europe, it's over 50%. And it's over 60% in Asia Pacific, the largest instant coffee consuming region of the world. But in North America, 2.7%. Why? Aren't we the ones who want everything fast? America? No, apparently not. Coffee is a $30 billion industry in the U.S., and almost all of it is brewed. But don't be a total coffee snob. There still is room for instant coffee in the diverse life of a coffee drinker. The Starbucks Via brand of instant coffee is actually better than a lot of so-called brewed options. I demonstrated how to use it in a coffee emergency here.
I can't find a Starbucks anywhere. So I pull over to the rest areas, and all they have is those god-awful coffee machines that make weak coffee. But the water is hot. So I made myself a coffee, and I set it on the weakest. They have 3 settings. I take a Starbucks Via, and I make myself a Starbucks coffee. All right, now let's take the test. Oh my gosh, it's a Starbucks coffee.
Andy, you were looking quizzically at that video. Did you understand what was happening there?
I couldn't tell what that was, but I assume it's an instant coffee.
Yes. Well, what happens is you go to these rest areas out in the hinterlands of America.
Well, I'm sure you do.
When you
TSA agent.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, Tom.
And then you go to the fun house.
You spend time there in the rest of the Sometimes I pull over, I make my own tuna fish sandwich, and I go over and I want to have a cup of coffee.
I don't even want to ask how you make that.
Tuna fish? Where's the tuna fish? What?
You get these wonderful tuna foil packages. You don't have to open cans anymore on the road. You get the foil package, you get yourself some mayonnaise, and you mix it up in a bowl. Okay, anyway.
Right back to the killing.
Yeah, this sounds murdery. Yeah.
So, Andy, what I was doing in that video, demonstrating for people, it's a great road coffee tip. Okay, you go into the rest area, and they have the coffee machines, and they make terrible coffee. So but they have hot water. It's the only way to get hot water on the road. So you make a coffee on the weakest setting, and then you pour in the Starbucks powder, and you make yourself a nice
hot water?
You can't. I'm telling you, I'm out on the road. These comedy clubs are in the middle of nowhere. They don't even have a Dunkin' Donuts.
Coffee, just get hot water.
Because the machines don't make hot water.
Oh,
at America's rest areas, they just have that
microwave.
Terrible coffee machine. Yes.
What's wrong with the coffee machine? I don't care what kind of coffee I drink.
See, that's
just caffeine. It's fun to abuse caffeine. It's fun to just slam it and just wild out. It's a great time. I don't understand people who like certain kinds of coffee. I don't understand people who go wine tasting.
A lot of gals I know like this. This is what do you, Joanne? Do you care about coffee, or are you just kind of dumping it down for the?
Well, I grew up on instant coffee because that's what my parents drank. We were a Folgers family, so that's what I was used to.
I didn't know there were Folgers families.
Mm-hmm. We're also a Ford family. All our cars were Fords. Yeah, so that's what I was used to, so that's just by default I would go to that. But when I do have a really nice blend or a really nice Colombian bean, whatever it might be, I can taste the difference and I do enjoy it more. But for convenience sake, a single serving of instant coffee is much easier than making a pot.
Yeah, I don't know how to make coffee. It's like sludge, but if you drink some, you'll have fun. You'll have fun.
I used to have a roommate in college who used to make he used to take he had a styrofoam cup at the ready on his desk, and he would scoop in the Taster's Choice coffee, and then he would run it under the water in the tub, the bathtub, and he would run the hot water, and he would just suck it. Isn't that disgusting?
I love instant coffee.
You do? What
really
is
do.
happening?
But
this
is
obviously
America.
Eastern Europeans.
You are obviously the only coffee achiever here, Tom.
Well, I mean, I don't know why. We all work in media. We need our coffee, and we live in a wonderful. There's a great gourmet coffee place down the street.
Of course, you know where it is.
Yeah, I know.
Haven't you ever heard the Nescafe jingle?
But that's what I was going to. Tom and I were talking about this earlier. When we were growing up, same with you, back in the 50s, everyone drank instant coffee, and every other ad on TV was for instant coffee. You had Robert Young's Sanka ads, fill it to the rim with
Sanka.
Brim.
Yes.
Frank never has a second cup of coffee at home. U-Bands.
Right.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. Now, I can't remember the last time I saw an instant coffee commercial on American television. They've given up.
You have your answer. The answer is less than 3% of Americans drink instant coffee. We're all about quality. Everyone thinks we're about the fast food, but no, they drink a lot more instant in South America and Asia, in Britain, in Australia. They all like that instant stuff. We're the gourmet people here in America, so it's a different story than what's happening out in the streets. Okay. Catherine, do you grind?
I dump expired coffee, and it all works. It all
Back
works.
to the fun house.
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Coming up, a male model with face tattoos. I'm interested. And do you have videos of animals? You can send them to us at foxnews.com/redeye. A brand new Red Eye returns Monday with Greg hosting, unless I do something to change that equation. Guests next week include Jedediah Bila, Sonny Johnson, Nick Gillespie, and on Monday, Ambassador John Bolton. Oh. Okay, should we oppose her repose? When it comes to Kim Kardashian lounging, Adrienne Grenier says boo. The Entourage actor took to Instagram to attack Instagram and its effects on perceived class structure, just posing this juxtaposition of 19th century Spanish painting and the reality TV star. He writes, Instagram confirms class structure and distracts us from our true goals of equality and spiritual alignment with the true political needs of justice and freedom from oppression of capitalism. Speak for your own goals, Grenier. He then invites us, his followers, to read an article titled The Ways of Seeing Instagram, which quotes John Berger as saying, glamour cannot exist without personal social envy being common and widespread emotion. The industrial society, which has moved toward democracy and then stopped halfway, is the ideal society for generating such an emotion. What? Speaking of glamour creating social envy, be sure to check out Adrienne in the new Entourage movie. Here's a behind-the-scenes clip. I take it back. That's hilarious.
Toss a salad.
I didn't know Entourage was a comedy. Andy, you know, he starred in Entourage, so he does have the right to tell us about the folly of capitalism, doesn't he?
Well, yeah. There's nothing quite like a guy who's made a lot of money approvingly quoting something calling for the overthrow of capitalism, and there's nothing quite like a guy who made that money on a show that exploits women's appearance and treats them like objects, then waxing poetically about our true goals of equality and spiritual alignment.
Are they our true goals? Spiritual alignment?
Well,
what does that mean?
He said they are.
Not when you're on Instagram.
Instagram is for pictures of my own face on my Instagram.
Well, maybe
it's Instagram.
He seems to be making a comment that Instagram is, you know, it has to do with, you know, the capitalist. You know, it's all about envy. Do you think it is?
I don't know. I've never been to any other Instagram page except my own. I don't know.
Yeah, point well taken. Joanne, do you have an Instagram account?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you use it to create envy?
Of course.
Don't all the gals look up they want to be like you?
It's for the ex-boyfriends to look back and to make them feel bitter about their lives.
Maybe he is right. Maybe he is. Rick, did you look at this book in college, Ways of Seeing? We all had to. This is required in all of my art classes.
Yeah. And the fact is
Ways of Seeing. It was big. It was everyone had a copy of it under their arm, and we didn't realize.
Everyone did.
Yes,
everyone.
Yes,
with a cup of instant coffee.
But no, this was in the '80s, and but I remember reading it, and I didn't realize that it was Marxism overlaid, you know, over art history.
Which only proves the point that he didn't write any of this, because he doesn't know what he's saying. He's just like
I don't know what he's saying, really.
I mean, it's an attack on capitalism. It's so Hollywood. It's so, like, you know, typical. I feel like we should just not even talk about it.
And you remember that book, right? And it's political and feminist postmodern implications.
I don't remember that book, but I don't remember much of college because I wasn't a nerd like you, Tom.
Wow.
I think the important point to make here is that with a lot of times you say to people like this, like, oh, shut up and act.
Yes.
I would prefer that he shut up and not act.
Just shut up. He just leaves the scene completely.
Just go away. I hate the fact that I have to live in a world where there's an Entourage movie coming out. You, Adrienne Grenier.
My God! All right, that's what a way to end the show, Andy. Very special thanks to Katherine Timpf, TV's Andy Levy, Joanne Nosuchinsky, and Rick Grenell. That does it for me. I'm Tom Shillue, and I'm going to see you next time.